of the first things and one of the most important skills that I wanted to talk about was how to take notes for AP World History, because a lot of students get bogged down in the notes, and I don't want this to happen to you. In fact, what I suggest is that you look on Canvas. You'll see that there's an announcement that contains advice from former students. They wrote this at the end of last year on our last day of school, so it's their big reflection piece. What I want you to take note of there that they say is many of them talk about do not waste time taking a ton of notes. They all typically say that you should be focusing on taking better notes, taking really good notes, but that it shouldn't be super long because then it makes it hard to sort through. So what you want to think about is quality over quantity. How can you organize information? You don't want to write down every word from the sentences of the textbook. Not only is that going to take you too long, but it's not actually going to be helpful. And your former students or your fellow classmates from previous years will tell you that. So one of the things that we have going on for us here in the summer program, particularly since we are not together, is I gave you this note-taking guide over here. So what I want you to do is when you're looking at the Unit 1 Part 1 reading guide and the first reading, I want you to see how they're structured. So it says write pages 21 through 39 in your textbook. Look, this is page 21. And it has a heading, right? It says South Asian Cultural Traditions, Hinduism. Look, South Asian Cultural Traditions, Hinduism. On the left-hand side here, down the left-hand side in this left-hand margin are going to be the major ideas. Think of them like subheadings. Your textbook doesn't have a lot of subheadings, so I've created them here. You can use this space to take notes, but you don't have to. This is where your notes go, and I want you to think of them kind of horizontally. So like, this is the part you're going to be looking for, basic teachings and origin. You're going to take bullet point notes about that here. Then we move on to Buddhism. Notice again, South Asian cultural traditions, Buddhism. Here are the ideas, the major topics that I want you to take notes on as you're reading, and bullet point notes go here. Notice too that I haven't given you a lot of space. That's because I want you to be taking high quality notes, not high quantity notes. What I like to think of doing is reading the whole paragraph and then going back and deciding, excuse me, what I want to take out of that. Then I'm going to take my notes. I also don't want you, right, your bullet points should not be complete sentences. They should be in a kind of shorthand. You should be using abbreviations. Like I use because, I use the number for, I use IMP for important, I use equal, the equal sign when I'm looking to like define something. I use arrows to talk about changes. All of those things help you take notes more quickly. So you'll go through and you'll see kind of how the structure works. So remember, it's quality over quantity. You don't want notes that are disorganized. You want them to be easy to use, right? Notes are for using. They're step one in our acquisition of knowledge, but we use them to refer to them when we're trying to actually deepen our understanding. So definitely keep that in mind as you're taking these notes.